Hey, yo, it's Cash on the Hood with your host, Jason Sauer. I'm here with Nick. But before we get to Nick, I need you to please like, share, and subscribe. I know you're tired of hearing it, but I'm tired of you not sharing it. Please help us out. Without you, we ain't got nothing. We love you, the fans. So, again, we are filming here at StudioME in East Liberty, and it's on the Lipson platform, which means it's on every platform. And our man Brian Cottington back there is pushing all the buttons. And without him, again, we ain't nothing. So thank you, Brian, and his Cinema Psycho shows at 270 episodes. Nick, tell us your whole name and how many podcasts you already have.
So Nick Bogacz from Caliente Pizza and Draft House. I'm the host of The Business Equation. Got over 100 episodes and kicking. And also the Real Slice podcast, if you're in the pizza business, with my co-host Siler Chapman. And we've been plugging right along there as well, too.
He's from North Carolina, right?
He is, yep. Well, he's South Carolina, North Carolina border, like literally on the border. We were driving down there about 2 weeks ago, and I called him up as we crossed the border into South Carolina. And I was like, hey, how close are you? He's like 7 minutes. So we stopped and saw his operation down there.
Nice. Does he have multiple locations, or is he? He
has a really interesting concept. He's a food truck operation. I don't know how else to say it. Like it blows my mind. He's got 8 trucks, wood-fired pizza. He bought a big building, rents it out it acts as a commissary for probably about 7 other vendors for food trucks. And then he has 8 wood-fired pizza trucks that he operates out of there. Wow. King of Fire.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Wow. You're always with interesting people doing it, new way in America to make money,
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a really good thing going. They do a ton of weddings and birthday parties and all kind of stuff. But they're like these really nice trucks, and in the back there's this giant wood-fired oven. Is your brain turning and you're like, do I need I'm sure you already went up and down whether or not a food truck works for you. Yeah, we almost bought one pre-pandemic. We didn't. It's a whole nother business. It's one of those things that we just decided to focus on the operations in front of us rather than another project at that time.
Right, that'd be a lot for you. Because food trucks is a full time. Not just getting it, but maintenance of that truck, finding out where to go, like getting your hustle, get there. That'd be tough business.
Yeah, it is. It's like any other business. You got to give it 100% or it's not going to work.
True. That's true. You give it 100%. You're out here winning championships, 4 times.
Yeah, we're always trying to stay ahead of the curve. That's for sure.
All right. So this podcast, we talk about art, hustle, and a little Demolition Derby. So we talked a lot about your hustle in episode 1. Now you have an impressive art collection, and you've been collecting art for quite a while now. And it's pretty fun to see how generous you are to the local art community, and because keeping your ear and eye out.
Well, we love the local art community, and when I say we, it's my wife Angie and I. I think, like you mentioned on the first episode, we met at the bar in Bloomfield, and we've had some great work from you over the years. Really unique things when you think about Andrew would find a carousel horse at a yard sale, and then next thing you know, we hand it to you and you hand it back all we'll say quote unquote tatted up. Right.
Yeah.
So lot of great things over the years. We've even we've got art in the stores too, if you count the hoods that you've made for us, but a lot of great interesting stuff that's been in Art Basel that you've had down there, and now it's hanging on our walls. And
you also collect like Baron Batch and Kai, and you're getting a lot of people from the local scene,
Yeah, absolutely. We like to support local. There's a lot of great artists in Pittsburgh for sure. Another one that I like to collect is Robert Griffin, who does a lot of early Indian portraits, and we really love the local scene altogether.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen your collection when I've been blessed to come over to hang or move something, then it's impressive. It's nice to see,
I think one of the cool stories is, I'm a Bigfoot believer, and I saw something you did on a hood of a car that you had Bigfoot. So like I'm texting you like, hey, can you make me a Bigfoot And my wife's always like, hey, you can put Bigfoot up at camp, but you can never have anything Bigfoot in our house. And I text him like, I have a good chance if you make me a Bigfoot painting, I could actually put it in the house. So then fast forward and you take it down to Art Basel and you're displaying it down there. And Ange is texting me like, hey, I think for Christmas, I think I found you the perfect thing. I was like, who do you think asked them to paint that?
It was pretty cool. You were both texting me at the same time. We need that painting. We need it.
Yeah.
So I have a painting series. It started with Space Goat and it moved to Space Squatch. And when we have Space Squatch and we have Sasquatch proper. And so it was a car from Colorado, an old 70s station wagon that I spray painted with that. And it took right off. I didn't realize how popular Sasquatch was as an artistic idea. And I've been squatching once in my whole life, but I didn't realize how serious it was.
Oh, it's serious. I'm the proud chapter leader of the Venango County for the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Research. We've got the Rockland Bigfoot Research Center. So yeah, I'm into it for sure.
Venango County.
Yeah, I'm the chapter leader for Venango County. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Graduated high school in Venango County, so it's funny to hear that name.
Yeah. It's one of those things that you would think like it is niche. But it's also like it's out there. In Pennsylvania, there's a Facebook group that has about 12,000 people on it that are into it. So that's saying something.
Nice. I didn't realize at all. So we took a drive. It took a couple hours. We drove past the burial mounds in West Virginia and kind of right on the edge of Ohio is where we went squatching. And I thought, oh my gosh, this must be the only place. But I was so wrong. There's squatching places, squatching cabins, squatching. It's everywhere. It's a real thing.
Yeah, it is a real thing. It's pretty sweet.
I was very naive to that whole idea.
Yeah. Now there's definitely people that are into it, and we get into it. We got a couple different vehicles we take out, and we're looking, and we've got all the thumping on trees and everything else. Yeah, we have a great time.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You try to call Squatch out of the...
Yeah, we try.
You got a Squatch call?
Yeah, absolutely. We got a Squatch call. And, we built this research center back during COVID, and we did a big, you couldn't have gatherings for COVID, but if you're opening up a Bigfoot Research Center, you have to have a grand opening. So we did. And we had people from all over showing up. We had a lady show up. And she came in, she saw a big picture on the wall of Bigfoot. She just starts crying. And she's like, my family doesn't believe me. I saw him. I was had a cup of coffee. I smelled something coming into the air. And then I heard something, and I looked on the power line and seen him cross, and it looked just like this picture on the wall. And she's just like bawling. She's like, my family doesn't believe me. And then later on, we had the big party and the ribbon cutting. And my wife was like a little big on, it's COVID, so only like people that we know. And then she shows up, and my wife's like, I thought I said that there wasn't going to be anybody that wasn't, that we knew coming here because of COVID. And I was like, Ange, she's the only one that ever saw Bigfoot. She has to be here.
That's a good story. Did she see Bigfoot when she was young or when she was...
No, this is probably a few years ago. And then, I've gotten known up there a little bit as the Bigfoot guy. So I had somebody stop me on the street up there, like, hey, you're the Bigfoot guy. I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah, he told me back in the early 80s. So this guy was probably in his 60s, and he said in his early 80s there was 3 of them. They were bow hunting, and they were telling me how they saw Bigfoot jump a cliff back there, and they said they were scared and they just left. And yeah, I mean, you could tell like both of them. They saw
real.
Bigfoot. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Bigfoot?
I have not seen Bigfoot.
No, but you're on the search.
Yeah, on the search, the eternal search.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I never realized any of that.
It's awesome.
That's crazy. Now, let me transition here. Tell me about your Demolition Derby experiences.
Yeah, right on. So I remember being a kid, probably like 9 years old, looking out the front yard. The family Monte Carlo just goes up in flames. And we're all like, oh, the car's on fire. Dad's out there trying to throw water on it, putting it out. Next thing you know, they finally put it out. And the coolest thing that came out of that is like, hey, we're going to have to put this in a Demolition Derby now. So they everybody got some spray paint. We were spray painting it up for a week. And week of summer. Everybody, neighborhood kids are over. We're all over painting it all up. And then I remember taking it up. At that time, we took up to Lernerville and did the Demolition Derby. And definitely, as my daughter would say, core memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
How old were you then?
I was probably like 9, 10, 11, right around, preteen, like just a young boy. Just, yeah, like I said, core memory of childhood. I mean, literally, like it caught on fire. That was the talk of the neighborhood. Then my dad's like, well, we got to put it in Demolition Derby. You can't just junk it. And he pulled it down. He put it all on like cardboard boxes on the driveway because he couldn't get paint onto the concrete. And for a week, he just let every kid come over and paint the car up. It was kind of cool.
Who was the driver?
So I don't know if I quite remember who the driver is. Somebody that my dad knew because my uncle lives up in Sarver, so I think they had some friends that maybe drove up in Lernerville at that time. Yeah, and I think friend of a family knew a driver, and yeah,
drove the car.
Yep, yeah.
That's my first. Yeah, I was 9 or 10. My first one that I really remember. So, did you ever experience another derby again, or is that your only one?
So we would go up. It's not the only one. We would do the Big Butler Fair, and we'd watch the derbies up there, and the buses. We'd go up and watch in Lernerville too. So, like, I don't know. I've been to a few. Not like it's one of those things that every time we would go, we'd be like, why don't we do this more often? Yeah.
Are you a race car fan too?
So to a certain point, like, big sports fan. I can't say that I'm a huge sports car fanatic, but my wife absolutely loves cars. My son loves cars. So by force, we're always talking cars.
Well, I know that you only drive Cadillacs and she drives Corvettes. So.
It's something like that. Yep.
Yeah, I was impressed whenever I saw her Corvette. I was like, that's a beautiful car.
Yeah, so the story there is she takes her regular car into the shop to over in Wexford, and my buddy works out there, and she takes it in for an oil change, her regular car, and he calls me. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I really didn't think it would go up your driveway. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, your wife took a Corvette out of the showroom, talked them out of the demo floor, right out of the floor, right out, it wasn't on a lot. It was in the showroom. They said no one's allowed to drive it. And it goes up your driveway, and she's filling out the paperwork now. I was like, oh, God.
It's fun. What a nice daily driver.
Yeah, she loves it, especially this time of year.
Oh, my gosh. That's so much fun. Yeah, tearing out.
Yep.
You get in trouble in your neighborhood with that?
Yeah, I mean, she drives it way more than I do. I maybe take it once or twice a year just out to kind of on a long drive or something like that. But yeah, she loves that thing, and it does have, you press it down and you definitely spin the ass end out. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
Sure, the neighbors are like, whoa.
Yeah.
They're pretty intense.
Yeah, it's a nice car, a lot of power.
That's pretty cool. Now, I didn't want to talk about that yet. We'll talk about that later. So again, let's go back to Demolition Derby just for a few more minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Here. All right. Now, as you know, I do Demolition Derby here all over America, and we got a crew coming in, and I'm excited. I'm going to be bringing them all to Caliente's in September 3rd. We'll have a Demolition Derby at the Great Stoneboro Fair, and what we're doing is we are bringing in a ton of people to like film like our reality show and stuff, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited to take them to the Bloomfield store. And we're gonna start our weekend there. I think everyone's coming in on Thursday. We're getting hotel rooms and stuff. It's gonna be a good weekend. So I want to let you know that it's gonna be fun. Now, why I include you so much is because you have been a part of my life for a very long time. And you this year were able to hook us up with gift cards for Saving Christmas. All right. So just to get serious with you for a minute here. You did such a solid for hooking up Christmas gift cards. I had my friends come in from out of town. We did it right here in Garfield, and then we did it at the children's home with Mario. And those gift cards went a really long way because a lot of people can't get out to, get food, and when they're at the hospital, having it delivered to them was it was a really good moment. So those kids a lot of them couldn't come down the stairs because they're immune compromised. So we brought all the art cars. So it's basically across the street here. And so I wanted to thank you on air for that, because you really crushed it and you really helped. Because so once people saw that giant donation, other people started jumping in and giving donations. So what we do is we take Target gift cards, because on the neighborhood that we're servicing, you can't get to Walmart. You can't, because they have to take the bus. So we're trying to hook them up with things within the neighborhood. And so having the Calientes in the neighborhood also fed everybody. So I appreciate that. The car club super appreciates that,
Yeah, anything we can do to give back to the community. I think when we started Caliente, that was one of our main goals. We always have been givers even before entrepreneurship, really, and we knew that that having Caliente and being successful could really put our giving on steroids, and we try to really make sure we're giving back to the community. We very rarely do we say no. We say yes to everything from little leagues to churches to Boy Scouts to YMCAs, whatever it is. But there are relationships that you make over time, and ours being one of it, that when we can, support a cause that's near and dear to you, it's just really like an extension of our friendship. And we know that you give from a great place too. So we're really happy to be part of that.
It was such a blessing. We had handfuls of gift cards. I mean, just handfuls. And there was probably 12 or 15 of us, and everyone was just giving them out. It felt so good. So for COVID, we weren't able to we had to package the gifts, and then we were like Santa Claus in the car club. So everyone got 30 places they had to go to, and we drove around as little groups. This was the very first year where we could organize and gather. So we really made an impact. And it was nice, because I know that you work with the Mario and all that foundation. So once they heard what we'd done at the community center just down the street, they're like, can you come within a few days? Let's redo this all over again. So it worked out really well. And it gives us, the car club, a sense of purpose. Car clubs, you always got to have a nonprofit or something that you're working for, because that's what car clubs do. And so it was a nice sense of purpose, and we really enjoyed it. We flew people in from Minnesota and Ohio. So this year I have a guy from Indiana who wants to be Santa Claus. He wants to drive in, and he wants to get an orange suit because that's his color, and he wants to be Santa Claus at this. So we're already starting this Saving Christmas again, and I've created a couple of these books, and I'll get you later today. So as I travel America like I do, I have a mugshot, and I'm just you write your name in the book, I take a picture of your mugshot, and in that mugshot, there's a video component where you tell me your favorite car.
I've seen it.
All right. So the goal is we're going to have all these books to raffle away at the end of the season. Hopefully somebody finds them valuable and turn them into gift cards.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I see a lot of it on TikTok. You're so active on there. And, yeah, I always see the mugshots on there.
That's nice. You're the viewer. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Now, what else you got planned for this summer? Anything good? You got to going away? You're going to try to win a 5-time world championship?
So, as far as that goes, we've got a trip in Atlantic City. There'll be some competitions there. The summertime for us, usually try to get a family vacation or something in there. We're focused a lot on different things we've got coming up in the fall with the business and stuff like that. So it's kind of loose this summer on plans, but I think I always try to get in the water a lot. So as much as I can get in the swimming pool or in a river or lake, that's always a plus.
Oh, that's the best when you're getting in a river. Do you have a favorite river?
Yeah, the Allegheny.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Like way up north in Venango County.
I was to say, I love the Cottington part too. I think that's a great section. It's deep there, which is nice. I wish the Venango part was deep.
You have to find certain spots in between the rocks.
Yeah.
There's a part up there. So we start in French Creek, and right before it joins in there. Maybe this is something you can search for. I found this out. 20 years ago. Like the very first piece of like American graffiti is in French Creek. And it's a giant rock that the Native Americans carved a rooster into. But every explorer since whatever 1500s, whenever, the settlers came here, has with precision tools carved their name in all these rocks. And like, it's beautiful of like the very first, Ed was here type stuff, but it's right there on that creek. So that's an adventure if you and your family are in an adventure. So it's right where French Creek meets Allegheny, somewhere right in there. But it's an old rock and a few of the other rocks, but it's enormous. It's, much bigger than this table. Like, how the rocks fall into the water there. Yeah. And so that was a cool adventure. If you ever are looking for an adventure, that one is unique in history, just to see these names carved in there. I'm sure there's probably a Lewis and Clark in there.
Is there an MWFA up there?
I haven't put one yet. I would feel very inadequate with the tools that they were using to carve their names. Like, yeah. I would have to, I don't know. I would have to, yes, I'd have to. No, I thought about it.
I'm sure you did. Yeah.
I thought about it, but I wanted to be respectful of the environment as well. So, but it's impressive because it's a lot of rocks right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of history up there for sure.
Certainly is. I like taking my son there to swim in that river because, like you said, there's shallow parts and then deep parts, and the deep parts you kind of have to find. We had a favorite tree that we had a rope swing on, and they cut it down last year, and they literally cut it down the morning we showed up. I was so disappointed.
Was he heartbroken too?
Yes, because the year before he was like he was still scared. Right. It's a lot of rope, a lot of cliff. Then this year he's like, I'm doing it this year.
What about someday when someone asks him what his memory of Demolition Derby as a kid is? What's his answer going to be like?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's gonna be sweet, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he started with Power Wheels. He started on the plastic toys, and we'll have to work him up too. So there's an age gap right now, 11, 12. They don't really put them in cars, but as soon as they get around 14, 15, they put them in cars. I'm gonna put him in a Dodge Diplomat, and that's what was my first car. So his first car should be a Dodge, and we're gonna go out there and smash it up. I've been teaching him how to drive a little bit. But I feel like he's a little behind these city kids compared to the country kids on like learning how to. These country kids have bobcats and tractors and all sorts of stuff. Like, all Rowdy has is a bicycle.
Yeah. Were you driving a bunch of things as a young country kid?
Yeah, I would steal my grandma's car when she was watching Days of Our Lives. So I had a real bad cousin. And him and I would just go ahead. So Days of Our Lives was noon to 2 because it would repeat. And so she would watch the back-to-back episodes. And so it was at that moment when we would just go ahead and take the car. But it was on some country roads because Grandma lived out in the junkyard there. So we could just take the cars and just drive them around the junkyard. Or like when she wasn't looking, we'd take them out to the truck stop, 14 years old, and try to buy some penny candy at the truck stop and come back. Yeah.
I miss penny candy.
Yeah. We probably should have did some time in juvie, me and my cousin, but stuff like that. But I hope Rowdy feels good about it. He has some good mentors who, these other dads who have kids to do this. So I know he's watching. He's because I let him know. I'm like, oh, you can't do that, And I try to challenge him a little.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. So check it out. I feel that's pretty good for episode 2, says Brian. Brian is Cinema Psychos podcast, 270 episodes where he talks about film, and he's been doing it since 2016. And, you want to give him a listen. He's back there pushing all the buttons, making sure this YouTube channel looks real good. Nick, again, you're such a great guest. You're definitely, with your 100+ episodes, what's the name of your podcast?
The Business Equation.
Yeah, and the pizza one with your friend?
The Real Slice.
The Real Slice. So you want to listen. Nick is a pro at this, have you heard? He is an entrepreneur pro. So you want to check out what he's got going on. And, support Caliente's Pizza when you come into town. And if you're here, as I know you will, valued listener. So please like, share. Without you, we ain't nothing. And stick around. Episode 3 coming up right now.